Hare Krishna. Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai, Shri Gauritai ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gopala Gopinath ki jai, Shri Madhavendra Puri ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So today I thought we will share some interesting episodes from the life of Shri Madhavendra Puri and understand how the Lord relates with the devotees. With the devotees. Sometimes there's a question about whether the Lord comes in one's dreams. So this pastime very nicely will describe about whether the Lord really comes in one's dream. As I described some time back about Madhavendra Puri, who's one of the most important devotees in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. In fact, we can say he is the founder of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. So he was so dear to the Lord that generally we know that devotees go to the temple of the Lord and pray to the Lord for their wishes to be fulfilled. That's a very common practice. Of course, those who are very advanced devotees, they don't ask anything from the Lord materially. And those who are even more advanced devotees, they don't ask from the Lord even spiritually. They just want to see that the Lord is satisfied by all means. And that is the standard of devotion shown by the gopis, headed by Srimati Radharani. This is the standard of devotional service which is manifested by Srimati Radharani. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was concluded and declared, and even Shukadeva Goswami has declared that there is no superior devotee to Srimati Radharani. She is the supermost devotee of Lord Krishna. Because the gopis, including Radharani, they can sacrifice any extent, and there is no limit to that degree of sacrifice. So that is their standard of devotional service and standard of sacrifice to satisfy Krishna. Nothing for oneself, everything for Krishna. Madhavendra Puri is one such devotee. Very, very special. So, I was trying to say how we go to the temple to ask something from Krishna. Here we see something very unique, something very different, an untold story of Madhavendra Puri, an untold story of a pure devotee of Krishna. Here the Lord is coming to Madhavendra Puri again and again and asking him for some favor. Is it? And relating with him very, very intimately. We hear about the devotees of the Lord loving the Lord. But here is a case where we see that the Lord is loving the devotees so much. So that is the devotion of Madhavendra Puri. Lord Gopala of Vrindavana, Lord Gopinath of Remuna in the Orissa state, they are so pleased and attached to Madhavendra Puri. They are highly attached to Madhavendra Puri because of his intense devotion and love of Godhead. Three times the Lord comes in the dream of Madhavendra Puri. The first time the Lord came to Madhavendra Puri in his dream when Madhavendra Puri went to Govardhan Hill in Vrindavan, Mathura district. So when Madhavendra Puri went to Govardhan Hill, he was about to do Govardhan Parikram. He was walking up to Vrindavan. He was little tired in the evening and then he rested. And then the Lord came. After his rest, the Lord came and offered him a pot of milk. And when Madhavendra Puri was resting that night, the Lord came in the dream and told him that I am hidden in the bushes here nearby. So kindly unearth me and install me and worship me. I wanted that I am worshipped by you personally. So that's the first time when the Lord came in Madhavendra Puri's dream to tell that he was hidden. Actually, the Lord came and delivered him a pot of milk as one of the cowherd boys in Vrindavan. But when the Lord came in the dream, he spoke about his own deity being buried in the bushes nearby because of the fear of being disturbed by some invasion, by some atheist kings. So, being fearful, the Pujari had hidden him in the bushes. And this deity of Gopala was originally worshipped, installed by Vajranava, the great grandson of Lord Krishna, and was being worshipped since those days. But some few centuries back, the deity was hidden for safety. So the Lord wanted to be worshipped again in his Murti form, and then he requested Madhavendra Puri to unearth him and then worship him. That was the first time. The second time the Lord came in the dream when, after Madhavendra Puri installed Gopala on the top of Govardhan Hill and arranged a gorgeous standard of worship and personally supervised it for 2 continuous years, and then had set a system to be in place that you can continue forever. That time, once, for the second time, the Lord came in Madhavendra Puri's dream and told him, it is summer season now and I am feeling very, very hot. Although you have bathed me from the cool waters of Govindakund sufficiently, hundreds and hundreds of pots of water from the Govindakund was used to bathe Gopala. Still, the Lord said, somehow the heat in my body is not reduced because I was in the bushes for a long time. So my entire body has heated up. So my dear Madhavendra Puri, can you kindly get me some sandalwood from Malaya province and bring it and grind it and smear it on my body so that I will become cool, like that the Lord came for the second time in Madhavendra Puri's dream. So Madhavendra Puri, immediately upon getting the dream, the very next morning he sets out to Jagannath Puri to fetch sandalwood for Gopalji. This very Gopal later on traveled to Rajasthan in a place called Nath Dwara, to a place called Nath Dwara. After going through different places, finally he reached Nagwar, which is the present, which is in Rajasthan, and the Lord is now famous as Srinathji. It's called Srinathji Mandir. Hmm. Srinathji also refers to the lifter of Govardhan hill. So originally the Srinathji belonged to Vrindavan, Govardhan hill. He was worshipped on the top of Govardhan hill, and he was founded and installed by Madhavendra Puri and worshipped by Madhavendra Puri. Of course, today the Srinathji is now worshipped by the Vallabhacharya Sampradaya, and a very nice care is being offered to the deity. So, when Madhavendra Puri began the journey, it was all by foot. And from Vrindavan to Puri, the distance is about 1600 and almost 1640 kilometers. So Madhavendra Puri, in those days, had to walk all the distance without considering anything. Immediately he began to execute the Lord's order. So on the way he came to Remuna, which is in Orissa, in Balasore district. It's a beautiful temple of Lord Gopinath. So Madhavendra Puri came to this temple before going to Jagannath Puri. Actually, he went to Shantipur, which is Advaita Acharya's place, to Bengal, and came down south to Remuna to have darshan of Lord Gopinath. And when he had the beautiful darshan of Lord Gopinath, and when he was conversing with the Brahmana priest in the temple, he got an idea that wonderful foodstuffs are offered to Lord Gopinath. So you could understand that the standard of deity worship was very high. So he also desired that if he also can get to taste one particular preparation, it was actually sweet rice, which was a very special offering offered to the deity. So every night the pujari would offer 12 pots of sweet rice, which is supposed to be very, very, very nectarian, very unique in the entire world. This particular sweet rice offered to Gopinath was very unique in the entire world. As the priest would describe about the sweet and the offerings, Madhavendra Puri thought, oh, if I can also get to taste a little of that Mahaprasad, I can also make that same preparation to my Gopala in Vrindavan. Madhavendra Puri also was a great and expert cook. He just thought like that. But later on, he was apologetic. Oh, I shouldn't have thought like that. What is offered to the Lord is very unique and special. I should not desire anything from the Lord. So this was the standard of devotional service. Why did I desire to taste that Mahaprasad? You see, one standard of devotional service is it is good to taste Mahaprasad. Now here Madhavendra Puri is setting another standard. Whatever is the Lord's mercy, which comes of its own accord, let me accept it. Let me not desire anything, including Mahaprasad. Of its own, if it comes, that's a different thing. That was Madhavendra Puri's standard. He never begged for food from anybody. Whatever came by itself, he accepted. Otherwise, he would fast and just chant, sing Krishna Kirtana, and this is how he lived. So, then, when he was thinking like that, the pujari was offering the sweet rice to the Lord for the night offering. And then the pujari left for the day. But in the night, Lord Gopinath came in the dream of the pujari. Now this is the fourth dream, of course, although not connected with Madhavendra Puri directly. Gopinath comes in the dream of his own pujari, of the Lord's own pujari, and says that there is a great devotee by name Madhavendra Puri. So you kindly go and deliver one pot of sweet rice for him as my blessings. Pujari is surprised that already the Naivedya was offered and it was taken away from the altar and distributed. So the Lord says in the dream, actually, my dear Pujari, when you offered the 12 pots of sweet rice, I kept one pot behind me, and you have not recognized it because of the mystic power, because of my transcendental trick I played upon you. Then the Pujari woke up from his dream and then he opens the temple door and actually sees for his surprise that behind the Lord, the pot of sweet rice was there. And then he comes out, closes the temple, comes out, and then he calls out for Madhavendra Puri, the devotee for whom the Lord stole the sweet rice. And from then on, the Lord became famous as Kshira Chor Gopinath. The Lord who stole a pot of sweet rice for his devotee. He became famous like that. Imagine the Lord. Here is another unique feature of the Lord and of Madhavendra Puri's devotion. We become famous by becoming a great devotee of the Lord. Here the Lord has become famous because of the Bhakta. See another unique thing. First thing I said is, we go to the temple to ask something from the Lord, and the Lord will certainly fulfill. But in the case of Madhavendra Puri, the Lord has come asking something from Madhavendra Puri, that is actually sandalwood paste. The Lord has come asking Madhavendra Puri to unearth him from the bushes and begin his worship. You see? The Lord has taken the trouble to get a pot of sweet rice to give it to Madhavendra Puri. So how unique is this devotion? So, when the pujari was calling out loudly, then Madhavendra Puri identifies himself that he is the devotee whom he is searching for. And the Lord became famous after his pastime because of Madhavendra Puri. And then he eats the sweet rice and breaks that pot into many pieces and carries the broken pieces of the pot along with him. And before the day breaks, he immediately left Remuna village in fear of what? That he will become very soon known to all the village people that here is the devotee for whom the Lord stole sweet rice, and they will start honoring him, glorifying him, appreciating him, and he'll become popular and famous, which Madhavendra Puri wanted to avoid. So he immediately left the village silently without informing anyone. Just imagine. And here we have a scenario where we are constantly making efforts to become popular, to promote ourselves, to become known. You see? And here is a devotee who is afraid that he'll become known and recognized and appreciated. And there are devotees who want to be appreciated, who want to be glorified, want to be recognized, See? So we can see the standard of devotional service of Madhavendra Puri. In fact, he's left the village at the earliest, in the very first instance, completely detached from all fame and name and recognition. Such pure devotees are always dear to the Lord. So, walking and walking, he slowly came to Jagannath Puri from Remuna. So, from Remuna to Jagannath Puri is almost about 250 plus kilometers. He walked by foot and came. And when he reached Jagannath Puri, he wanted to have darshan of Lord Jagannath. And he had darshan of Lord Jagannath and he became very ecstatic. Sometimes standing, sometimes he fell to the ground, sometimes he laughed, danced, sang, and he enjoyed transcendental bliss seeing the Vigraha of Lord Jagannath. Then the devotees in Puri knew well who was Madhavendra Puri and what is his standard of devotion. Therefore, many, many hundreds of devotees came to see Madhavendra Puri and offer him respects. Interesting to note here is he left Remuna in fear of getting personal reputation and he came to Jagannath Puri. And here we see there's a big crowd coming to have his blessings. So even though he's trying to avoid, the reputation is following him. So this is the unique feature of pure devotional service. Even though you don't want any reputation and fame, that will follow the devotee. Name and fame will follow the devotee, even though he is going away from it. So, the reputation brought by love of Godhead is so sublime that it goes along with the devotee as if following him. This is a statement made by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Krishna preme pratishta chale sange garana. So then, Madhavendra Puri immediately wanted to leave Jagannath Puri also at the earliest. Because again, people have started following him and glorifying him and appreciating him. But then he didn't wanted this to hinder his project for which he had come on the order of Lord Gopala Vrindavan to get sandalwood paste, to get sandalwood for him, to apply it on his body. So he wanted to complete his business and leave at the earliest. So he shared to the devotees in Jagannath Puri about the great order which came in dream. That how the Lord requested him to get sandalwood from Jagannath Puri. So then the devotees of Lord Jagannath personally went to the government officials and worked out, arranged all the official papers required for taking sandalwood out of the state. They required some release papers. So the devotees themselves arranged with the government officials to get all the required release papers so that en route to Vrindavan, there will be no difficulty for Madhavendra Puri to take the sandalwood out of Orissa state. Because there will be many government officials in those days, it was very, very strict. In all the tolls, there will be guards and permissions permission letters have to be shown officially. Otherwise, they will run into deep trouble. So the devotees arranged the papers and then gave him a good quantity of sandalwood as desired by him, along with camphor, which was used for Lord Jagannath's worship every day. In the camphor was used for Jagannath Arati, and the sandalwood paste was used to be applied on Lord Jagannath. So they were very glad that even Gopala had desired this sandalwood from our region, and they're very happy to deliver it to Madhavendra Puri. And then they also gave one Brahmin and one servant to carry this sandalwood load, stock, back to Vrindavan. And he was also given the necessary traveling expenses. So then, Madhavendra Puri was returning, and on his return journey, he again came to Ramuna for the second time and had darshan of the Gopinath deity. And that was again in the night hours, and when the last arati was to be performed, and the pujari could recognize, oh, it's the same devotee who came some time back, and he was very glad to see him. And he delivered the sweetest prasadam to Madhavendra Puri, and Madhavendra Puri happily accepted the Mahaprasad and rested for the night. And this is the third time Lord Gopala comes in the dream of Madhavendra Puri and orders him once again. So first time the Lord came, telling him where he is stuck in the bushes and remove him and begin his worship. The second time the Lord came to say that get sandalwood from Jagannath Puri because I am feeling very hot. My body is very hot. And the third time the Lord Gopal is coming in Madhavendra Puri's dream to say something interesting now. Very interesting. Imagine all the way Madhavendra Puri, a sannyasi, a very elderly sannyasi, walking all alone, thousands of miles. Walking all alone to Jagannath Puri. And after getting the sandalwood stock, the Lord comes in the dream and then says to Madhavendra Puri, my dear Madhavendra Puri, I have already received all the sandalwood and camphor needed for my body to become cool. Therefore, there is no need for you to take all the trouble to bring the sandalwood from Jagannath Puri all the way up to Vrindavan. So I would suggest that you use up the entire stock of sandalwood and camphor for being applied on Gopinatha's body at Ramuna, where you are now. And that will relieve you from unnecessary burden of carrying this load of sandalwood all the way up to Vrindavan, which is in Uttar Pradesh, from Orissa state to Uttar Pradesh. And somehow Gopala got to know that there is a lot of trouble crossing the states and many tolls. There are many toll officers. And in those days, he was very, very strict to carry sandalwood. So Lord Gopala got to know. He thought, why should I burden my devotee unnecessarily? So the Lord changed his mind and told Madhavendra Puri like this: you better get the sandalwood paste smeared on Gopinatha. And this quantum of sandalwood is almost about 82 pounds. 82 pounds of sandalwood, and 8 tolas of camphor. And the Lord reassured him, believe on my order seriously. Hmm? Believing in me, just do what is needed. You should not hesitate to act according to my order. Lord Gopala said, Dvidana Babiha na kariha kichumane Vishwasa kari chandana deha amara vachane. So have faith and believe in my word strongly and do not hesitate to act according to my order. This is a contradictory order. What the Lord said, he is taking back and saying, no need. Imagine all the trouble he has taken to come to Jagannath Puri. And now the Lord is saying, there's no need. You can just give up that entire sandalwood stock to the Gopinath deity. Anyway, taking the Lord's order as his life and soul, once again, Madhavendra Puri calls the priest and tells that please use this sandalwood for being applied on Gopinatha. And Madhavendra Puri stayed the entire summer in Ramuna till the entire stock of sandalwood was exhausted and applied on Gopinatha's body along with the camphor for the Lord's Arati. And then he moved from that place. The Lord said, Lord Gopala said to Madhavendra Puri like this. Very nice verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Inake chandana dire Gopala haibe shitala swatantara ishvara tandra aake se prabhala. The Lord is completely independent and it is his choice to desire the way he wants. The Lord said to Madhavendra Puri in this way, if you smear the sandalwood pulp on the body of Gopinath, it is as good as applying it on my body. And there is no difference because the body of Gopinath and my body both are same. Myself and Gopinath are not different. We are one and the same. And when you apply on Gopinath's body, my body will become cooled. So therefore, you can anoint the body of Gopinatha with the sandalwood pulp. Then, so after staying the entire summer in Ramuna and seeing that the sandalwood paste is applied to Gopinatha and arranging for all the expenses for grinding the sandalwood, Madhavendra Puri personally paid the expenses. He told the pujari of Gopinath temple, I have brought 2 assistants with me and you can hire 2 more assistants and see that the Lord Seva happens very nicely and I'll pay for all that salary. So he arranged for entire expenses of this entire Seva. And after personally overseeing that, he returns back to Jagannath Puri and stays in Puri for the entire Chaturmas period. And then later on he returns to Vrindavan. So, this story was personally narrated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his associates and to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who is Balaram himself. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to Nityananda Prabhu, you please judge the standard of devotional service of Madhavendra Puri. You please certify. Because Nityananda Prabhu was an authority. So he is placing it before Nityananda Prabhu for his certification. Obviously, Madhavendra Puri's devotional service is far excellence. Imagine a person like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is describing about Madhavendra Puri. What must be Madhavendra Puri's standard for the Lord to describe? If the Lord has to describe about a devotee, how much great he must be? If we describe devotees, glorify them. But if the Lord has to glorify somebody, imagine how much high level standard devotional service he must have reached for the Lord to recognize. Hope you get my point. Just to give you a simple example, if ISRO chairman had to talk about one particular scientist in a very great way, so he must be a very unique person, isn't it? Or if the president or the prime minister of a country talks about a particular citizen, about his unique contribution to the country, to the world, the risk he had taken, etc., etc., he must be very unique, isn't it? That citizen must be very unique, isn't it? Just like sometimes the country confers Bharat Ratna Award or Lifetime Achievement Award upon some special citizens for their great sacrifice or contribution to the country, etc., isn't it? Now imagine the Lord, Supreme Lord, the Lord of all the worlds. How many great people have come and gone in this world? Among all of them, if the Lord has to choose Madhavendra Puri for his selection, for praising, imagine what is his standard of devotional service. It's very, very special. All of Lord Chaitanya's associates are very, very dear and very special. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Nityananda Prabhu like this. प्रभु कहे नित्यानंद करह विचारा पूरी सम भाग्यवान जगते नहीं आरा. You see what he has told Nityananda Prabhu? He said, he asked Nityananda Prabhu to judge whether is there anyone in all the three worlds who's as fortunate as Madhavendra Puri. Puri sama bhagyavan jagate nahi ara. Is there anyone as fortunate as Madhavendra Puri? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recollects these pastimes, describing this entire Leela of Madhavendra Puri. This is another thing, you see, another dimension. We talk about the Leela of the Lord. Now here we see the Lord describing the Leela of Madhavendra Puri. See, all very unique, no? The Lord is asking his desire to be fulfilled from the devotee instead of the devotee asking the Lord. The Lord is coming to Madhavendra Puri again and again instead of we, and in general case, we go to the Lord again and again. The Lord is appreciating the devotee's devotion. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorifying the Lord, and we see generally we glorify the Lord, and here the Lord is glorifying the devotee. That is the standard of devotional service of Madhavendra Puri. I'm repeating this again because it's a very, very unique devotee. 3 times the Lord came in his dream. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Nityananda Prabhu, being obliged of the loving affairs of Madhavendra Puri, Lord Krishna appeared as Gopala deity, and accepting his service, he liberated the whole world. The Lord is very merciful and attached to his devotees. So when Gopinatha was covered with sandalwood pulp, Madhavendra Puri's labor was successful. Finally, Madhavendra Puri's seva was accepted by the Lord and was considered successful. Either he applies it on Gopala or Gopinath is all the same. But the Lord wanted that the devotee not be put in trouble, carrying all the way uh, more than 1,500 kilometers. Why should put the devotee in trouble? And then there are many toll officers, a lot of difficulties. The Lord got to know about it. Gopala understood. He doesn't want the devotee to go through this risk and trouble. Although release papers were there. hmm, That is why Mahadevendra Puri always lived alone. Because just imagine the Lord is constantly glorifying him, appreciating him, and Madhavendra Puri is avoiding him. Such a kind of great devotee he is. Therefore, he was very careful not to be appreciated, not to be recognized by anyone. Therefore, he remained alone. He was uninterested in anything material. Just to execute the order of Gopala, without a second thought, he began his journey walking more than 1,000 kilometers. And he didn't even care for his prasadam, place of rest. Nothing he cared. Immediately he started, willing to accept all kinds of discomfort in the course of his seva to his Lord. His only pleasure was that his Lord will be smeared with sandalwood pulp and his body will become cool and the Lord will become satisfied. So, although he had no arrangement for prasadam, stay, and the difficulty in walking, none of them would disturb him and his determination to get the sandalwood to Gopala and Vrindavan. His only pleasure was the thought that the Lord will be satisfied but if I bring this sandalwood and smear it on his body. That pleasure is more than sufficient for him to bear all kinds of trouble. You see, in our normal life, we try to satisfy our body, our wishes, our desires. Then we are comfortable, then we remain undisturbed. Once our material desires are satisfied, we become happy and glad. Here we see a devotee, his only satisfaction and gladness and joy is in seeing that the Lord is satisfied, his seva is complete, and no considerations of personal comfort. That was the stand of Madhavendra Puri. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami speaks a beautiful words in this regard about the quality of a devotee who has developed intense love for Krishna. He says, Pragada premela Eshwabhava Achara Nija Dukkha Vignadira na kare vichara. This is the natural result of one who has attained intense love for Krishna. What is that? The devotee does not consider any personal convenience. A personal does not regard any personal inconveniences or impediments. In all circumstances, he wants to see that the Lord is satisfied, the Lord is served. So, in the purport Prabhupada says very nicely, whatever kind of discomfort, impediments, difficulties, challenges, risks come, the devotee does not stop till his seva is completed. His seva to the Lord is completed. Any amount of difficulty is willing to undergo. That is the symptom or lakshana of a bhakta who has developed intense love for Krishna. He will not give up in the middle. Just like we do seva when things are all fine, comfortable, arrangement is there, everything is there. And also we are also more or less, not troubled, peaceful, things are well set. When things go wrong, we become disturbed and we cannot perform our seva, isn't it? Suppose when we are sick, or when we are going through some difficulty, some difficult times. It's difficult to completely absorb our mind in the Lord's seva. But the standard of pure devotional service is such that whatever kind of difficulty and challenges, the Lord's seva must not stop. Whether it's scarcity or this or that, anything, it should go on. So this is a standard set by Madhavendra Puri. And Chaitanya Prabhu has nicely described, Ashlishya padratam pinashtumam adarshanan marma hatam karotuva yathatata vidadat lampato matpranatastu saeva na paraha. So Chaitanya Prabhu has set the standard later on, saying that whatever difficulty is there, my Lord still will be my master. Even if the Lord rejects me, He will still be my worshipful Lord. Even if the Lord is not merciful upon me, does not bless me, does not give me His darshan, He rejects me, kicks me away, still I will consider it as a favor, and I will never give up the Natha or the master of my life, which is Krishna. Even if the Lord rejects, I will again and again go to Him only. This is the quality of pure love. It is not conditional, it is unconditional. So this is the standard of Madhavendra Puri's devotional service. So it is described that Madhavendra Puri Lord Gopala wanted to test Madhavendra Puri's love for him. And Madhavendra Puri had come out successful in his test, in the Lord's test, and he became very merciful upon Madhavendra Puri. Lord Gopala wanted to show the world about the glory of Madhavendra Puri through this pastime. It is said that such behavior exhibited between the Lord and His devotees, these standard of dealings, it is not possible for a common man to understand. They don't even have the capacity to understand this level of transaction between the Lord and His devotee. And all this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is describing to Nityananda Prabhu and his devotees. Imagine the greatness, the Leela of Madhavendra. So, in this way, we can take inspiration from the life of Madhavendra Puri and try to increase our quality of seva to our Lord Krishna and pray for Madhavendra Puri's and Srila Prabhupada's blessings and Gaudita's blessings that following the footsteps of Madhavendra Puri, even a small iota of that devotion is conferred upon us, our life, devotional life will become successful. And it's a very rare thing that the Lord comes in the devotee's dreams for a normal devotee. These are very, very, very advanced devotees where the Lord regularly comes to them and talks, offers them prasadam. See, the Lord stole. Here at least Gopala brought the milk to Madhavendra Puri in the first instance. And the second instance, the Lord stole also for Madhavendra Puri. Imagine to what degree the Lord is willing to go to satisfy his devotee. The devotee is trying to satisfy the Lord. This is another further unique quality. One another unique quality in today's discussion. The Lord is trying to satisfy the devotee. Here the devotee is wanting to satisfy the Lord is wanting to satisfy the devotee. So there's a transcendental competition between the Lord and the devotee, who will satisfy whom. See the transaction of devotional service standard. It's very unique in the history of the world. And Srila Prabhupada is another such great example of a devotee who is extremely determined to serve Krishna amidst all odds. If you read Srila Prabhupada's biography, you can read Srila Prabhupada's biography, which is available in ISKCON temple, called the Messenger of God. Or that's a abridged version called the Messenger of God. The complete biography of Srila Prabhupada is in 7 volumes called Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. You can read them, then you'll actually see what level of devotion even Srila Prabhupada had to serve Lord Krishna and expand his movement. How determined Prabhupada was to spread Krishna consciousness in the Western world, to spread Krishna's message, to spread Hare Krishna mantra, to spread the message of Srimad Bhagavatam across the world. So let us pray to their blessings so that our devotion is strengthened and we also develop good amount of sacrifice, giving up our comforts and work towards satisfying the Lord, and that should be our satisfaction. So when we hear these pastimes, then we will also imbibe those qualities. That is the secret of hearing the pastimes of the Lord and the Lord's devotees. The secret is that whatever qualities we hear in these pastimes, those qualities we will also get. So that is the secret. That is why it's very important to read these pastimes. This is described in detail in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 4. So I narrated some portions from that. Thank you so much. Shri Madhavendra Puri ki jai, Shri Gopala Gopinath ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.